Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live. I hope you guys are well. It's such a lovely day today. And I'm so glad that you guys can join the live. I have my computer on that side and showing that. Let me see. Because this thing always like, oops. Okay. There you go. So, guys, welcome to the live, like I said. Thank you for joining, every single one. I appreciate you guys. Today, we're going to talk about how to deal with critical and rude people and how to act like an elegant lady. Because you do have to act like an elegant lady when there's critical and rude people around, acting ridiculous. But generally in life, you should really try your best to be the most elegant lady that you can be because it's just important. It's just vital. Okay? Let me see if I can get this on the computer. I always have my computer standby so that I can type stuff sometimes. All right, guys. So, how can we deal with this rude and critical people? Because there's a lot of rude and critical people out there. And sometimes, sadly, the most rudest people can be your family members. The most critical people can be your family members. Now, we want people to critique us, but we want them to critique us in a positive light. We want positive criticism. We want positive critics. You understand? Not rude and not people who are just critiquing us because they're just rude and they're just unmannerly and it just doesn't have anything behind it except to hurt you as the individual. So we're not talking about this kind of critical people because criticism is good when it's done properly and when it's for the person's best interest because you don't want to go out there and act like this person who's like so perfect and you don't want anybody to tell you anything. This is wrong. You shouldn't do that because the scripture tells us that we should correct our brothers in love and that's what we should do. But most of these people, they're not correcting you in love. They're just very critical. They're very rude and so unmannerly. And so I want to talk about that because I encounter so much of these people in my life and sometimes it's you just have to think very happy good thoughts or else you'll be like you know what I mean to these people. So I made some notes as usual. I always make notes when I come to you guys because I want to come all put together for you guys to make sure I'm dealing well with you all. So the first thing you want to do is to deal gracefully. When you are a elegant lady, you want to add value, but you want to also add you want to be a graceful person. You want to deal with people gracefully. You want to maintain your composure, okay? So you want to make sure like you're not like gritting your teeth. You're not like looking all flustered and ready to just explode. Maintain your composure, and by maintaining your composure you're allowing yourself the opportunity to think. So when you're thinking you're able to say the right things that you should say based on the situation or the circumstance. You understand? So that is why you need to maintain your composure. The next thing is don't return the insult. Whatever insult or whatever they're carrying on with, like don't join them in that thing that they're saying. For example, if you go to a restaurant and people are talking loud or people are just being obnoxious closer to you and you just politely said, excuse me, can you keep your voices down, you're a little bit loud. And then the person is just like, oh, what you don't be talking to me. No, 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 this is a restaurant, I can do what I want. And they're just acting very obnoxious and they're not being very polite or they're being unmannerly and rude. All you need to do is maintain your composure, Don't turn back and say, you guys are very out of order. Don't lift your voice. Like, don't say that kind of stuff. You just turn back and said, I politely ask you to keep your voices down because we are in a space and we all want to enjoy the space that we're in. Just make sure you keep your composure and what comes out of your mouth is very ladylike, very polite. And now, if they're continuing to carry on, then you get up and move to another location because you never want to engage with foolish people to make you, this nice, elegant lady, look like an idiot. And that is what you do not want to have occur at any time. So when people are being rude, people are being obnoxious, you need to separate yourself, remove yourself from that situation, and maintain your elegance. The second thing you want to do is to always stand up for yourself. Standing up for yourself doesn't mean you have to curse out anybody. Standing up for yourself doesn't mean you have to super people's level and start cursing bad words and start carrying on. Standing up for yourself, excuse me, standing up for yourself means that you tell somebody, listen to me, I don't appreciate your tone of voice towards me. I don't appreciate your behavior towards me. If you're going to continue behaving in this manner, I would not stand here and listen to what you have to say. I will walk away. So you need to tell people this and walk away. Don't just say, okay, I'm going to walk away. Then you standing up and you're there arguing with the person. No, don't do that. Just kindly leave. When you say something, you should mean it and you should do it. That's it. Let me tell you guys a story because I love to tell you guys a story. I was working years ago. I had just gotten married. I think that was my first year of marriage. And I got this job in a factory. I was very happy because was my field that I was working in. I worked as a clerk in like warehouses and stuff, dealing with the truckers and stuff, making sure that the goods and services are transported to different locations, wholesale locations, stores, and different places. So that was my job. I love my job. So when I got that job, I was really happy about it because I'm like, yes, I did that job before. And I like doing that. I like dealing with the truckers, the goods, the people, the customers. I like talking to the store owners and telling them about the products. I just love that job. I wish I was doing this job now, honestly, because I just love that kind of stuff. So anyways, this boss of ours was he wasn't my boss actually. Actually, I was working upstairs in another department, which belonged to his sons. And then the bottom part of the place belonged to him and his wife and whoever else in the family he belonged to. But the upstairs part belonged to his sons. So I was working upstairs with his sons. But what happened is downstairs, people are always quitting because of his behavior. They leave because he's talking to them badly. He's so unmannerly. He treats people so badly that every week workers are quitting. So he came to a point where he had, I think, like 3 workers. And so he was really short staffed and people just didn't put up with his nonsense. So he asked me to come downstairs to work with him for to come down and work for a couple of days to help with the, how do you call that? Like with the big shipments, you know what I mean? So I said, okay, no problem. I will come down and work until you find workers. But I knew about his behavior. I knew how he would treat the people. And I'm like, if I come downstairs and work and you think that I am going to work in that condition, it's not going to happen. So one week he came upstairs, he asked, oh, can you guys come downstairs? Can you come downstairs to work? He asked his sons. The son says yes, because we have a busy shipment, blah, blah, blah. So I went downstairs because I'm very experienced in that field. So I went and we were working like for 2 hours, like really, really fast. The trucks were coming in. We were really short staff. I think we had 2 people plus the guy who works at the back there for the truck. And he came in and there were trucks lined up outside, and then he started to yell. Now remember, there's just me working and another lady and another guy. Like 3 of us was working. I was the person right in front, and he started yelling at me. I just dropped everything that I was doing. I had like a whole pile of clothes in my arms like this because I was going to hang them on the hanger. Then I was going to pass it to the other people, so the other guy there, so he can put it inside the box and tape it up, and then they can put it on the line to go to the truck. And then pass it to there's a guy in the right at the end of the door who checks everything, make sure everything is fine. And he started yelling at me like, like, work faster, more like, and he was so rude. So like, I just drop all the stuff. I mean, all the beautiful clothes that I was holding in my hands, I just drop it onto the floor. No, the factory floor is dirty, it's not clean. I just drop it. And I looked at him like this. I let him yell. And then after, when he stopped yelling, I said, excuse me, don't you dare ever speak to me like that. Don't you do it. And then he's like, but I want you to work faster. I said, it doesn't matter if you want me to work faster. We are working as fast as we can, but you cannot speak to me like that. And if you continue to speak to me like that, I will leave at this moment, because first of all, I'm doing you a favor. And then he started yelling again. Well, the rest of the stuff that I had in my hand, I dropped it again, and I walked away. I said, goodbye. I'm leaving your job. I don't need this job. Okay? I already have a job. Remember, I'm doing you a favor. And I started to walk away. Then he said, oh, you're fired. I said, no problem. You can fire me because I know the whole company belongs to you, because your sons just own a part or whatever. And I went to get my bag, and I walked away. I said, okay, that's it. I'm walking away because I'm not ever gonna let anybody speak to me in this manner. I got to the end of the door, and then he ran after me and apologized to me. Everybody was like, oh my gosh, you actually stand up to this guy, like this. Everybody was scared of him, like he was like a bad man, you know what I'm saying? Like they kind of say the bad boss. You actually stand up to him? Yes. And that is what I'm talking about. You need to stand up to people. He apologized to me. He never speak to me in that manner ever again. And even after when he left, all the people, like the guys and the person who were working at the back, they all started to applaud. They're like, Hazel, you are good for him. I'm like, yes, because you guys been working here and nobody ever stand up to him. They said, that's right, it's true. Nobody ever stand up to him. Everybody just run around and do whatever he says. And I stood up to him. I said, don't you ever talk to him. I know, or something I said to him was, I said, listen, I have a home. I have my family. And I don't care if I was living on the street, I still would not allow you to speak to me in this manner. And I told him, I said, you need to change your attitude and you need to change your manner. And if you don't change your attitude and your manner, and if you don't treat people with respect, nobody's ever going to work with you. You're going to consistently have short staff. I told him that in front of everybody. The truckers were there waiting for their truck to be loaded, and the three other workers, and then the head clerk who was working there. I told, because everybody was standing up when he was yelling, and I told him that, and I walked away. So that's what I'm talking about. When you're an elegant person, you need to keep your composure. I didn't lose my composure. I stood where I stood, and I said what I have to say, and then I walked away and I left. And of course, like I said, he apologized. So the next point, so that's what I'm talking about, is stand up for yourself. It doesn't matter what. The next thing that you want to not do is don't call people names. That man, every time he comes, he called people, he yells and he calls people name in Arabic, right? He uses his language and he calls people name. And the name that he was calling people in his language mean donkey and fool. That's what he meant. And the first time I heard him say that word, I asked the person who was working with me upstairs, because there's another guy who was working with me upstairs, and he was Arabic. He speaks Arab. Sorry. He speaks the Arabic language. And I asked him, I said, oh, what does that mean? What does that mean? And he told me. And I said, well, why is the boss downstairs calling people that? And he says, oh, yes, that's not good. He shouldn't be saying that, but I guess the people doesn't know what it means. But he told me what it means. So I knew what it means. And every time he was yelling, the guy upstairs would be like, oh, he's saying those things again. You know what I'm saying? So he was calling people names. So when he was yelling at me downstairs, he started using those names. And I actually told him, I said, I know what that names mean. And he was quite shocked. But I never told him that the guy upstairs told me what names mean. I said, you should not be calling people names like that. And even if he was calling me names, yelling, I didn't yell at him and said, like, I didn't call him back that name. I just spoke to him very calmly and very, in that manner. I spoke to him like that. So when you're an elegant person, when you're dealing with rude people, do not call them names. Don't stoop to their level. Don't be calling them names, and don't be like them. You want to be above the behavior that they carry on with. So don't do any name calling, right? And next thing that you want to do is, that's point number 4 is, excuse me, choose not to respond or to react too much. Think about what you're going to say before you react or before you respond, because you want to keep your composure, like I said in the beginning, and you want to keep your elegance, and you want to actually be very ladylike in those situations. Like, you don't want to come across like some crazy lady, even if the person who is carrying on is acting crazy. So you don't never want to look or sound or be like them. Listen, people can talk with them out, but if you speak in a certain way, you can put them to the dust. You can shame them. I'm telling you right now. So learn that skill. And when people start to carry on, you use that on them. That's what you need to do as an elegant lady, because an elegant lady can be out there shouting and screaming and yelling and carrying on. No, no, sweetie, don't do that at all. Think about what you're gonna say. The only time you should be like, being physical or whatever, if somebody physically attacked you, and tried to hit you or something like that, then I say, well, you defend yourself, and all elegance should go out the door, because if somebody's gonna hurt you physically, you gotta defend yourself, right? You definitely gotta self-defense yourself. So that's what it is. So not if somebody's coming at you and trying to hurt you, then you're gonna be like, oh well, no, I'm an elegant person, I don't touch people that hurt. No, you defend yourself, okay? So, but in other situation, you act very elegantly, use your words, say the right things, and don't let anybody like push you over, and stuff like that. Now, what's something else I want to tell you is, people who behave in this rude, critical, unmannerly way, something is wrong with them. They have a problem. They are feeling bad about themselves on the inside. They've been dealing with some problems. They woke up on the bad side of the bed. They have troubles. They have trauma. They have stresses. They have things that they're dealing with. And you today is just a person that I just want to let it out all. Let it all out on today. You understand? So this is what happening. So don't feel bad thinking that you did something wrong, or maybe you looked at them wrong, or maybe you didn't address them properly, or you speak too loud, or you speak too soft, or whatever. Like, don't think that you did something. Just like, don't think like that. I was at the grocery store the other day, and I was exchanging something. I bought something as a gift for my friend, and the gift that I bought to her, the one that I got for her, she's like, "Oh, I have the same thing. Can you get me this instead? I really want that instead." So I had my receipt, and I took it back and got the thing that she told me she wanted instead. So I was going up to the exchange counter. Mind you, there was like one person exchanging, and I was the next person. And the lady exchanged her stuff and she left. And then when it's my turn, the cashier starts yelling. I was like, at first, I couldn't believe that she was talking to me, because I thought she was yelling at somebody in the back door or something like that. And then she pointed at me and she's like, "You!" And then I just stopped well, I didn't move. I just stayed where I was. And I looked at her. Then I stepped forward and I said to her, I said, "I'm very sorry, but I hope you are not speaking to me, because that tone of voice is not acceptable." I said, "This is not the way you deal with a customer. You don't yell at people." And I said, "Why are you yelling in the first place? There's no line up. It is just me and that lady that is there. Why are you yelling? What's the problem? Come, 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 come." Like that. I'm like, no, that's not the way. And then she was just looking at me like blank, because sometimes people have bad attitude and bad behaviors, and because nobody point it out and say like, "This is not the way you should deal with people," like the person just continued doing that stuff. And when I pointed out to her, she was like, "Hey." I'm like, "No, that's not acceptable. Please don't." don't speak to me like that. And yeah, I said you shouldn't speak to any customer like that. The person in line is gonna come. If you want to address them and say, "Oh, next in line, please," "Oh, you're the next person," or something like that. Don't be like, "Yeah, you come here, next, you don't see the line, like there's nobody in line, come," like no, no, like you don't speak to people like that. So yeah, I went up to her, talked to her. She did say, "Okay, yes, I know, but she didn't really like come out and apologize. But I let her know. I let her know that what you're doing is not, it's not the way to do stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's one incident that happened the other day, and that's how I dealt with that. And I think, like, if we as individuals know how to deal with things, we will deal with people better. I'm not saying that the people are going to change, but you, the person, you're going to feel better about yourself when you see certain things happening. It's like when I go out there and I see people acting in a certain way, whether I deal with the situation or I walk away, I don't feel bad. Like, I don't feel bad at all, because I know that on the inside of me, I didn't do anything wrong. And I know the person who's carrying on this manner has a problem. So that's why I come with these videos and these talks, because I want to give you guys some tips, because I know everywhere there's people with this kind of behavior. So if you know how to deal with things, you'll have a better day. You'll be happier. Honestly, you will be happier. You will be. Let's move on to the next point. Don't make people feel that they're superior over you. And when people behave in a certain way, they're like portraying a superiority complex. So you never want to make them feel that they have that superior complex over you. You want to put them in their place right away. Or you want to walk away with that expression and say, "Well, you're having a bad day or something. You go solve your bad day, but do not bring that bad behavior towards me." You need to tell them, like, "I see what you're doing, but that's not going to affect me." Boom, you just make their superiority complex go right down. And this is what you should do to rude and critical people. Don't let them trigger you. Don't let them trigger you to start cursing and swearing and going off the rockets. Do not let rude and critical people trigger you at all, because then you are upset. You are in a huff. You're in a puff. You know what I mean? And sometimes you say things that you don't have to say, and you do things that you should not be doing, and then you embarrass yourself. So like, don't allow them to do that. Remember to stay calm always. Think about the motive, right? Think about the motive and be one step ahead of them. Always think of the person's motive. Why are they doing that stuff? Do they want to embarrass you just because they don't like you? Are they racist? Is it because, they feel like you're not deserving of something? They just hate you? Or, some people that, I don't know, some people, they just wake up in the morning and they're upset. They go to bed, they're upset. They're never happy. They're never pleased. They're never satisfied. There's just some people like that. And it has nothing to do with you. It's all about them. But other people, they have motives. So there's different people out there with different behavior because they have different motives, right? And you have to be able to differentiate with these people, rude and critical people. There is a motive behind them. I'm telling you, it's not just easy like that. And there's a spiritual, also there's this spiritual thingy that is out there too. So it's a whole bunch of things, all like in a big ball, like a snowball out there. So that is why you have to keep your composure, and you have to be calm when you're out there. Personally, when I leave my house, I make sure that I have a good frame of mind, and my thinking is in the right place. Because when you drive your car on the road, there's crazy people out there. I was on like merging onto the highway, and this person was, no, I wasn't merging. I was driving on the highway, and this person was merging onto the highway. And I'm telling you, this person's behavior was so terrible that this person could have caused an accident. People are trying to, like, this person doesn't know how to merge it clearly, and people are trying to show this person, like, come out of the way, trying to help this person, but this person is so set in their way of doing stuff that this person can't even see the danger that they're putting other people in. You understand what I'm saying? And this is some people are just like that. They could be dying, and you're trying to show them something, they won't listen. And this is the same thing with people who have problems. They're rude, they are critical, and even if you're polite to them, even if you walk away, even if you put them in their place, it still wouldn't change them, because that's just the way they are. They have a motive. Some of them are just born like that, like I say, and some of them they just have wicked hearts. So that's just the way they are. But you as a person must keep your composure, and you as a woman must keep your elegance as a lady and do not get ruffled. Now, let me tell you some things you want to say to people when they come up to you and talk to you in this fashion. Tell people that this is inappropriate. You need to tell people that their behavior, you need to tell people that the way they were speaking to you is not correct. And some people, they say some words to you, you need to let them know that this is inappropriate and you are not accepting this speaking, this talk, these words, these phrases that they're saying to you. You need to let people know that this is, like, you are not accepting that. That's the first thing. Let them know that you are not accepting that. For example, I was working in a school, and this woman, she's telling me, go clean the table. And I'm saying, excuse me, you are a teacher in this classroom. I'm a teacher in this classroom. Why are you telling me to go clean the classroom? Go clean the table. And she wasn't even saying it politely. Like, you and two person are working together, and you say, oh, I'm going to go do that. Can you do that for me, please? Like, she wasn't saying that. Oh, go clean the table. Here. The bottle is up there. Go clean the table. And I'm like, whoa. Like, what's going on here? What is going on here? Now, I could have said, like, you go clean the table, yeah. And I could have go on, right? I could have go on because I'm like, I could have just go on and say that. But I politely said, no, I'm not going to go clean the table. Why aren't you cleaning the table? Why aren't you cleaning the table? Why can't you clean the table? Why are you ordering me in this rude manner to clean the table? You must learn to speak to people politely if you want things to be done. Don't speak to anyone in this manner. Don't, and especially me, I will not accept such behavior. And this is the way I deal with people. And then they just kind of look at me in shock, because they don't expect me to say that stuff. Because everybody, they say, go clean the table, go do that in this rude manner. And they're like, okay, and they go clean. Me, no. If you don't speak to me nicely, if you don't have manners, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do what you say. I don't care if you're the Queen of England. If you don't have manners and you're not brought up, I'm very sorry for you. That's not going to work with me at all. It's not. And there's two things people do to me. Oh, I know, guys. I seem to have some kind of frog in my throat. There's two things that people tend to do to me because I'm very direct and I don't put up with nonsense. One, they don't like me at all and they avoid me. Because they can't, like, that spirit that is in them that is trying to knock my spirit, that spirit clearly realized, hey, I can't knock her. I can't do what I want to do with her. So that person, they just stay away from me, or they just, like, they don't deal with me. Or the next thing that they do is, if they do deal with me, they change their behavior and they deal with me very short. But it's okay. I don't mind because then I'm protecting myself and I'm protecting my sanity. And being an elegant person, being an elegant lady, being an elegant woman, it's hard for a lot of you. I know that because it's hard to keep your elegance around rude and critical people. It's very, very hard. You know, like I always say that nobody's gonna make me cry. Like nobody's gonna make me cry pathetically. I'm not saying crying is pathetic. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying like no person is gonna yell at me and make me cry. I see so much co-workers, I see so much workers, many places I work, bosses are yelling at them and they're crying. I'm like, huh? I'm sorry. If you yell at me, don't expect any tears from me. It's not gonna come out. I'm gonna put you right in your place. If you wanna fire me, go ahead and fire me. Like the thing about it is in life, you have to realize that you have to fight your battles. Nobody's really going to fight your battles for you. And you have to take a stand in life pretty early. And pretty early in my life, I decided to take a stand for myself. I decided to protect myself. I don't care who you are. You could be the richest man on the earth. You could own this land that I'm sitting on. You understand? But I'm never, ever going to make you walk all over me. It's not going to happen. No. Like I always say, if I was a slave during the slave time, I would have been number one to go 6 feet under because I would never, ever, ever. I'm telling you, never, never, ever. Like, let anybody speak to me in this manner. It's just not gonna happen. I don't care who you are. You'll give me 1,000 lashes. Yeah, I'll take the 1,000 lashes. You'll do whatever you want. I'll take it, but I'll never like succumb to you like that without a fight. It's gonna be a good fight. You understand? It's gonna be a good fight. So, you know, yeah, there's ways to deal with stuff. Now, another thing is like stop being ashamed to stand up for yourself. A lot of you are just ashamed to stand up for yourself. I don't know why. You scared you're gonna lose your car. You're scared you're gonna lose your home. You said you're gonna lose your job. So what? You are a valuable person. You have skills. You have understanding. You have knowledge. You're gonna get another job. The worst thing you can do is stay in a job where you're not treated well. The worst thing you can do is stay in a relationship where you're not treated well. The worst thing you can do is having friends who don't appreciate you. The worst thing you can do is continue to be friends with these people. Like, even if you have your family and your family are driving you insane, they're rude, they're very critical, they're always saying things that are negative. Like, why do you need to be around these people? Yeah, I understand they're your family members, but you still can leave. You still can find your own space and live somewhere else where you have peace of mind and people are not rude like that. I tell you in another video how I dealt with a family member of mine. Like, I left. My family members were saying, oh, she's just a busybody. I'm like, huh? She's a busybody? So she should take a, she just, hi guys, I've been all kind of tongue tied at this moment. So because she's a busybody and she's like to be in people's business, I should allow her to be in my business and be a busybody and send me to the madhouse? I don't think so. It is not going to happen to me. She's your elder, she's your this. Listen, if you're my elder, you should have some sense. If you're my elder, you should be a righteous person telling us righteous things. If you're my elder, you should learn how to deal with your younger, your junior people underneath you. You shouldn't be carrying on in this manner. So as for me, I don't have any like sympathy, or I don't make excuses for people. I think that you're an adult and you should act responsible. You're an adult and you should behave yourself properly. We expect that. Now, we're not saying that every single day everybody's going to behave themselves properly, because we know sometimes, we all have bad days. You understand? But if you do something wrong to someone, if you may speak to somebody rudely, just apologize, say I'm sorry. But going ahead and just being rude to people consistently, being critical, just criticizing people left, right, and center, unmannerly. Like, no, that is not acceptable. I don't care if you're a busybody or unbusybody. I don't care. Like, this is not acceptable behavior, and none of you out there should be accepting those behaviors. None of you whatsoever. So, you elegant ladies out there, and yes, you are elegant ladies. You are elegant women. Society may have turned you into something unelegant, but your elegance is inside. Bring that elegance out and show others how to be elegant women, because we, as the older woman, like Titus, in the Bible, Titus says, like, we have to teach the younger women to do good things, to live righteous, to live holy lives. So this is why I come on this live and talk about certain things, because I want to bring these things out there, and I want to give you guys tools to use when you're out in society, because it is a mad, mad, crazy, crazy world out there. And if you don't have the tools to do certain things, if you don't have the know-how to do some certain things, you're just going to have a lot of heartache. So guys, I'm saving you this heartache. I'm saving you this heartache. Okay? So stand up for yourself in an elegant manner. Do not let people walk all over you. Think before you speak. Do not stoop to anybody's level. No job should be so important that you would let a boss do whatever he wants with you, speak to you, push you around, all that stuff, all because of money. Money should never, ever cause you to be in such a situation. Don't marry a man because he have money, and he he's the one that running the house because of his money, and so you stick in there because of money. Have some dignity. Respect yourself. Act like an elegant lady, and do not allow people to do whatever they want with you. One thing my mom told me when I was young, she said, never ever allow anybody to treat you like a doormat. It doesn't matter who they are. No job, no person on this entire world. Don't allow them to treat you like a doormat. So I know in society we're told to, oh no, respect the old elder, respect him because he's the owner of this, he's the owner of that, he owns the dollar store, he owns the building that I'm living in, he owns, like, so because people have prestige and because they have money, you're expected to stoop underneath them, and you allow them to pay you $4 instead of six, and you allow them to call you all kind of names because they're the boss, and they have the money and they're paying you. Yeah. Like, sorry. Don't allow that to happen to you ever in your life. You understand? Be elegant, speak up for yourself, stand up for yourself, and just do what is right and live your life good, and set yourself up properly so you would not have to be stuck in certain situations. And I am saying that because learn to live a frugal, learn to live within your means, learn to live a life that's going to allow you to be free in this system and in this world that we are in. Because many people do stuff because they are not free. You are tied to debt, you are tied to all kind of stuff, and so you feel like you have to do those things. But the person who is going to be suffering, it's you, not those external people. It is you that's going to be suffering. You're the one that's going to be feeling all like tense every single day, upset, nervous, you like on edge. So please set yourself up in a way that you won't have to depend on people, or you won't have to really need this job. Like, move move away, go somewhere else, protect yourself, protect your sanity, but keep your elegance, because in all of you women out there, there is elegance. God created us as beautiful, elegant women. And that's what we are, and that's what we should be. And do not allow anyone to take away your elegance. So, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining the live. Boom Blast. Blessings to you too. Dan Jr., thanks for being here. And there is, how much of you in the live? I don't know, but there's many of you who didn't comment and say hi. I see all of you. I think there was 50 people in the live at one point, and all of you who joined, I Appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Um, Stay positive, and I hope those messages that I'm, coming on this live and say reaches your heart. And yeah, and that's basically it. So guys, stay blessed, stay positive, and you elegant ladies out there, continue being elegant, continue being elegant, elegant, and I'll see you in the next live. Bye.